What's going on, guys? Good morning. Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well. Welcome back to another edition of the Morning View. And you know what, guys? Today's a special day. It's Monday. It's May 15th. But today's a special day because I've got a morning show, a Morning View with Marcel himself. Marcel's here. Marcel's in the chats. Wow. Marcel, how are you doing, my friend?
Morning. It's been a long time, Owen. I think you've done this maybe at the beginning of the beginning of this season, actually. It was the beginning of this season, running up to some window and stuff, but I'm good, thanks. Really happy. Yeah. Women's football's been good so far, all positive for Manchester United. Same with the men's team as well, positive things, and we're building up to summer. I'm in a good mood.
Yes, in a good mood. You were there at Wembley yesterday, watching, unfortunately, the Man United women's team lose 1-0 against Chelsea. But it must be said, I mean, we covered it in every single area of the channel. I'll tell you what, the team was teaming yesterday. You had, obviously, Minna, superstar Minna, basically. Just talking to the manager. We've got a clip of that in just a second. Talking to Mark Skinner. And obviously was there in the press box with Josh. Yourself and Flex were there, drinking it in. Wembley vibes, Wembley atmosphere. Not for the first time this season as well. Another cup final coming soon, too. And then we had the match view. It was tremendous. I tell you what, though, I feel like that game was there for the taking for Man United yesterday. Nikita Parra should have been taken off.
You're so right, bro. Honestly, Owen, we had most of that game. I think we deserved to win it. And that's why I'm still positive, even though it ends up with a loss and a marginal loss. But, Chelsea just didn't look like they wanted to play football. Obviously, they had lost some key players, but they just didn't look like they'd come to play a lot of football. It looked almost like a Jose Mourinho style Chelsea, the way that they were playing the game. But we just played so much positive football. There's so much good things to take from that, even though it's a marginal loss.
Yeah, indeed. I spoke about Minna there, and this is how crazy it is, and this is how much sort of fan content and fan channels have progressed over the years. Is yesterday, she spoke to the Manchester United manager. She had an interview, not just press conference sitting. She spoke, microphone here and there. This is what she, and her conversation with Mark Skinner, the Manchester United women's manager, looked like.
Fit, firstly, you went for something different than a three-piece suit. I see you got the off-white shoes.
Thanks, mate.
You got the off-white shoes as well.
An off-white shoe for you, yeah. I thought that you'd appreciate
I'm wearing an off-white jumper as well.
Exactly, mate. We've got the flex, right?
Yeah, exactly, the flex. No pun intended, guys. What would you say to United fans just watching our channel and just to uplift them a little bit?
Yeah, you're the best, and the reality is that we're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep. I'll produce a team here that will go on to win things for many years to come. I have no doubt in that. And so I just want to, and I'll look down the lens, I want to thank all of you because today I thought that you were excellent and you have been all season. So we've got 2 big games, we're going to need you. And hopefully we can deliver early the things that we all want, which is obviously Champions League and potentially win the title.
You're looking ahead to the next 2 games. Obviously fans are very important, but how important is it for the players to just be uplifted and just look past today's result and just look ahead?
Sometimes feel it, right? Sometimes feel the hurt and disappointment of it and then go and take the game. So look, we know how difficult the next 2 games are going to be, but that's what we're here for. Difficult. If you want to win things, you've got to take on the difficulties of the task, and that's what I'm going to aim for them to do.
Next season, we look ahead, Champions League football. You talked about improving the squad and just bringing resurgence in. How important is that, just to compete with the best of the best?
Huge. Chelsea will go again. They'll spend more money. Manchester City, I'm sure, will. Arsenal will. We need to make sure that we are in the market for the best players in the world. But we're not guaranteed Champions League yet, and we need to make sure we can guarantee Champions League. After that, we still have aspirations of winning the league. So we've got 2 games to try and win. If we can do that, I'll be very happy with us.
Thank you so much for your time. See you at the derby. I'll be there, and then Liverpool away. Hopefully we see the season out and we finish on a high note. Fingers crossed.
As always, good to see you.
Good to see you, mate. All right, see you.
Look at that. Queen Mean just killing it. Round of applause. Put the means.
Yes.
Put the minions in the chat. Absolutely amazing stuff. The meanies in the chat. There's so many different names for it, isn't there? But yeah, shout out Mina. Absolutely killed it yesterday. But we've got to talk about, obviously, Manchester United, the men's side of things this morning. And we're talking about a midfield rebuild possibly coming in the summer, transfer priorities. Starting off, we kind of touched on this last night, Marcel, but I want to get your thoughts on it this morning. Adrian Rabiot. Yes, the Rabiot drama and saga could be revisiting itself this summer, as it did last summer. Of course, Rabiot was heavily linked to United. United were interested. It looked like a deal was there to be done. It was near enough done. John Murtough, the football director for United, was even in Turin. There were videos of him arriving and leaving. He was in negotiations with Rabiot's mother, Veronique, his agent, about a move from Juventus. It didn't happen at the time. Rabiot had 1 year left on his contract. He's coming into this summer as a free agent, and it has been reported from L'Équipe, a French-based outlet, and Manchester United are pushing to sign Adrien Rabiot on a free transfer. He's an important target for Erik ten Hag. He has been able to have had exchanges with the midfielder over the last few weeks. So they're actually saying he's actually spoken to Rabiot. Ten Hag has made signing Rabiot an important objective for Manchester United, as is the signing of Harry Kane and Rabiot. Rabiot and Ten Hag were already in touch last summer. Talks have intensified lately on Erik ten Hag's initiative. But we're not the only club in for Rabiot by all accounts. Newcastle are also in the chase for Rabiot. Manchester United would like to complete his arrival as soon as possible. What are your thoughts, Marcel, on Rabiot to United? What were your thoughts last summer? Of course, those talks fell apart because reportedly he wanted too much money, essentially, and wasn't too sure about coming to a club that wasn't in the Champions League. But Ten Hag seems keen, does he not?
Yeah, Ten Hag always strikes me as a loyal person, and quite stubborn in terms of his selection. I think we might have a little bit of a mini De Jong saga as well this summer transfer window coming up, because just the nature of Ten Hag, he's got his principles, his profiles that he prefers, and you know what, he might stick to them this summer, and I'm anticipating that. That's something that I'm expecting from him. But for me, Rabiot's in that bracket of, Scott McTominay, Fred, Sabitzer. We need a bracket above that for me. But obviously, Ten Hag, like I say, if he wants the player, I'm going to back him this window, especially again, same like last window. If he wants the player, I'm going to back him. The game's about profiles. He has a vision in his mind of the type of profiles that he wants to blend together, especially in that midfield area, which is important. I think, especially in the midfield, you need profiles. But for me, I don't think he's good. And it was his mum, Veronique, like you mentioned, is the reason why I think that deal gets delayed. She wanted extra money, certain types of guarantees and things of that nature. I think the player would want to play for Ten Hag. I don't see a player in world football that maybe wouldn't want to play for Ten Hag, in my mind. Most probably being biased there, Owen, but I'll say it. And at the end of the day, Rabiot's one of those players that he can add to the team in terms of the height. I think we need a few taller players, obviously Harry Kane amongst that as well. But I would say no. But if Ten Hag wants him, and like in last summer, I was saying if Ten Hag wants him, get him.
I'm very much on the fence about this one, Marcel, because I somewhat disagree with what you're saying there, where you're saying he's similar to, McTominay or Sabitzer or Fred, because I think he's better. I do think Rabiot is better than those players. I think, look, this guy that France had all of those injuries in the World Cup in December, and he benefited because of that, and he played near enough every game, and he was good. He was good at the World Cup. He's a good player, and I do think he's better than a few of the other options that we've got. I don't know is he as good as Eriksen? He might have more legs than Eriksen. Maybe he's not as technically as good as Christian Eriksen, but he's probably got more legs. I mean, he's 28. He's not exactly super old. He's coming into his last big contract. That would be a concern, and we'll park the wages to one side in just a second. But clearly, there is a desire from Ten Hag to, revisit this. And maybe there might have been a thing last summer of when they couldn't come to terms on the deal of, let's revisit it next year. Are you going to sign a new contract at Juventus? No, we're not going to sign a new contract. Well, let's revisit it in the summer then. Maybe something like that. My concern with it is wages, because if last summer he was asking for, or the people around him were asking for X amount of money, and if Manchester United, imagine this, Marcel, even Man United thought that's quite a lot of money. Yeah. The club that hands out big wages, they said, that's too much. We can't be doing that. So heaven knows how much he actually was asking for. And that's with a transfer that's actually got a transfer fee attached. When you've got free transfers where there's no transfer fee attached, a lot of the time, agents and representatives around the player then go, look, you've got the money you're saving without a transfer fee or anything like that. Put it into the wages, or put it into a signing on fee, put it onto an agent's fee, something like that. And when that happens, sometimes these free transfers can end up being just as expensive as normal transfers with transfer fees. So that would be my worry about all of this. But still, if we're heading into a summer, Marcel, where we don't know the transfer budget, and we don't know how much we've got to spend. And, you know, the numbers that have been thrown around there might be 100 million. And we'll touch on Harry Kane in a while. And we're saying we've got to get that striker. That's going to cost us all this money. Maybe we've got to look at free transfers. Maybe that's the kind of player we have to look at.
You've been mentioning it, Owen. You've been mentioning it before, saying, you know, that Ten Hag has to balance the books. You know, we saw John Murta coming out of Wembley yesterday, but, you know, the whole club, the people above Ten Hag, we don't know what the budget is. So Ten Hag has to work within a tight budget again, like last summer. So then maybe he has to look at other options, other alternatives, just like what happened in January.
Tight budget. We spent a lot of money last summer, Marcel.
We did spend a lot of, I know everyone said we did spend a lot of money, but we overpaid, you know, and that was because of the incompetence at the top. It really, all of those players are maybe £40 million players, you know, but we overspent and we spent into this summer's budget. It was reported around that time that, okay, it's going to be a little bit less for the next window now because we're overspending. So it's just been incompetence from the top. But Tielemans is another player. You know, I spoke to him when we played against him away at the beginning of the season, saying, "Come to United. Come. I know your contract's up. Come to United." Because that's another one that can be part of the. You know, we need 2 starting 11s to compete with City. The bracket is 2 starting 11s, and we've seen that Fred, Sabitzer, Scott kind of. They're not good enough to be a bench player at the top level, but they're not also good enough to be a starter. So Tielemans is an option. Like you said, Rabiot, you've been saying it for a long time. You've been saying it for a long time that we, you know, Ten Hag has an issue right now with the financial side of things. He can't get the creme de la creme players. He can't get 3 world-class players over 100 million, say.
Let's dive into that a bit more. So you had a conversation with Yuri Tielemans, okay, outside the King Power. Yeah. How long did this conversation last? What did you say to him? Were you shouting at him from a distance? Explain more. I feel like this needs to have more context to it.
So I was right next to him. He was obviously signing players, signing fans, tops and stuff, and doing signatures, autographs. I just said to him, "Listen, come to United. We need another 8." And he started laughing. But at the time, Leicester were.
What you did not sign up to sign him. Go, look, listen, mate. Listen, come to United, mate.
Yeah, he's about to get in his car. He's about to get in his car and leave. But there's like a barrier there. Who was with me? I think it was Gov was with me. Shout out Gov. But there's a barrier there. And then I was just like, hey, listen, you need to come to United, man. We need an 8. All these other 8s are just a little bit bracket below. You're not signing a new contract. I know you want to step up, come and join. But I think this whole season he's not been brilliant since then.
He's been brilliant. Since then, since that talk, he went, I'm not coming to United. Some guy.
It got to his head. The shirt is heavy. The shirt is heavy. The shirt is heavy. He must have been quaking in his boots, thinking about every week.
Oh, man. Yuri Tielemans, he's just not for me. I mean, maybe a few years ago, it felt like the moment that Tielemans knew he was probably going to be leaving Leicester, which was, about maybe a year or so ago when he's like, I've got 1 year left. Suddenly his performance levels went down like that. And he just doesn't have really any mobility.
He's a bit stiff, yeah.
His technique's okay, but I don't think. If we're signing Yuri Tielemans on a free transfer, that probably says a lot about what shape we're in come the summer financially, to be honest. But no, Tielemans, I don't know. A lot of Warsaws in the chat at the moment. Warsaw. Where's the picture? There we go. Warsaw's in the chat. Oh, that one.
This one suits me better.
That one does sit. It looks good. That one. We were legitimately. We actually had conversations about getting you a real life hat.
I would appreciate that. But it has to fit that looks a bit too big on the side on my head. That one.
Yeah, I'm not sure that would fit properly. But we were having actual talks about getting the hat as well. See, you just did it there, yeah. And also, can you explain this picture now? While you're here, because I haven't had the opportunity to talk to you about this picture. Now, I might actually, whilst we're live, I might try and get this clip of you and Josh on the train when it came to the watermelon. If those that haven't seen it, those that aren't UV members, explain what is happening in that picture.
I can't remember, to be honest with you. I think Josh is asking me, what's Josh asking me? Something about fruits or something, and I mentioned watermelons, and I just start handing out watermelons to random people that are walking.
Honestly, I can tell you exactly what happened because I've seen this. I've watched this episode like 10 million times. And what it is you are I mean, imposing watermelon on people. Yeah, I mean, you are saying to people, to Josh for like 20 minutes, Josh, man, you've got listen, you've got to have this watermelon. It's the best watermelon I've ever tasted. It's the best, and you're literally holding it like that with one hand, going, "Look how juicy! It's juicy! It's juicy!"
Yeah, it was red, proper red, rich red in color. I'm telling them, I think, yeah.
And then you'll start. Then Josh goes, "Give it out to someone else." So there's someone sitting like next to you, and you go, "Have some of this, have some of this." And he has a bit. He goes, "Oh, thank you." And then he has a bite, and he goes, "It's really juicy." And you go,
"See."
You see, it's really juicy, Josh. I'll get the clip. I'll get the clip. But yeah, so when it comes to Rabiot, again, I'm not opposed to it. I know that I did a show last night, and most people were kind of like, probably not.
Yeah.
But I think we just don't know. We don't know what United's sort of summer transfer plans are looking like. And also, we've said this about a variety of topics, haven't we, Marcel, when it comes to David De Gea, when it comes to Ronaldo back before he left, when it comes to whoever, whatever Ten Hag wants to do, right? If Ten Hag wants the player and he says, I like Adrian Rabiot, then we can agree or disagree, but we've got to back the manager.
Yeah. It's the same reason, you just mentioned David De Gea. It's the same reason why I've been saying for the last few games we need him. It's the same reason why I would accept if he signs another contract. You'll hear me moaning. Best believe, Owen, you're going to hear me moaning at you, the whole of next season because he's in goal. But I still have to believe that, Ten Hag can improve him, and he's shown signs of that. I still want him to do well for us in between the sticks. He's been brilliant at home in particular anyway for us. So I would still expect him to perform for us. He's wearing the shirt. I think I said the similar thing for Maguire last season when I wanted to get rid of him. We still support him. And everyone on this channel said that, by the way. We still want to support Maguire. It's just, we can see that sometimes they're not good enough. The process, like you've mentioned already, the financial side of things means that you have to prioritize who and when someone leaves and balance it within the other financial situations that you have to deal with. So it's a very challenging task that Ten Hag has right now. But if he wants players like David De Gea to stay around, he's mentioned Marcel, which I don't think would end up staying around for most of you, Owen. But
really,
I want him to stay as a backup, but he's just not around. I don't know. It's very weird. I think it's maybe better to cut your losses now and get a younger forward in, and cheaper forward as well. But he's very important for the style of football that we want to play. I would agree with anyone that says that they want to keep Marcel on to next season.
We've had a madness already this morning. We've had a lot of madness. Whilst I was in the chat, and also VK has gifted 10 UV memberships. So we've just been talking about Marcel and the Marcel madness that was going on that day, and I am going to get that clip. I've decided I'm getting that clip. We've got 10.
VK said it's for Marcel's watermelon.
It's for Marcel's watermelon. So the new members are Jonathan, Makish, Chris, Drew, another Chris, DR, Sal, Gabriel, and I think that's it. Also, as well, we have a super chat as well. It's all going off this morning, Marcel. David T, temporary Madrista, visa in progress. Still hoping that Madrid can beat City in the Champions League. Says, hey guys, as I said, when it comes to takeover news, our best bet is to compare what Qatari and English journalists are saying. Heavy PR on both sides. Yes, if you missed the show that I did last night, or the stream I did last night, essentially the latest takeover news is that both sides still remain in the dark, so that both sides don't really know what's going on. They both think that the reports coming out suggesting that Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos are the front runners is more of a ploy from the Glazers and a ploy from the Rain Group to try and maybe drive up one final price, one final bid, an 11th hour bid from Qatari, obviously, businessman Sheikh Jassim. But as of right now, there hasn't actually been any reporting that indeed is going to happen. It must be said as well. And I've seen a lot of people talking about, last minute bids are going to be going in. As of right now, that hasn't happened. But hey, anything can and will happen when it comes to this takeover madness. But are you worried, Marcel, at this point? I mean, it's halfway through May today. This takeover stuff, it has to have affected summer planning, has it not? Because how can you plan when you don't know what the future looks like?
Yeah, you don't even know how much money you've got to spend. You don't know who the direction of the club in terms of at the very top. A bit worried if business, again, we get into a situation where business takes so long. You want to get everything done before the preseason. You know, Ten Hag's one of those players, one of those managers, sorry, that wants his players ready. I can imagine, you know, last season, everybody was training. He was complaining about having the players not fully getting all his signings. Sorry, in the window and in the club. I don't know. It's something that I would worry a little bit about, but at the end of the day, the Glazers going is my main issue. So I'm not too worried that when within that process does this happen. As long as they're gone, I'm happy.
But then I suppose that goes back to the Sir Jim part, doesn't it? Of, you know, maybe they're not gone, maybe they are sticking around. In fairness to you, and you said this on the 4View a couple of weeks ago, and even I was like, Marcel, man, I don't know if you can say that. Where if you were saying, look, some of them, but them being not as involved is a win, you know, in comparison to the current situation. And obviously, the reaction at the time is to that of, oh, no, but we don't want them around. We don't want them around. Obviously, we won't sell only, and we want Glazers out. But I do think it's important to comprehend that the reality is that, you know, Sir Jim Ratcliffe could win, and he could win by keeping them around in a minority role.
Yeah, he's scratching their backs, and he's trying to give the fans what they want, and himself, he's trying to do a win-win all around. But it's not really a win-win for the fans. We don't want the Glazers there in any shape or form. You're saying, you know, imagine what he'd said in his opening letter to the club and to the fans. Do you know what I mean? And he's gone completely against that.
That's true.
So yeah, but I still believe at the end of the day, they won't have the power. It's about power, and we're moving the placement of power now. The Glazers were making the power and the decisions. Now it's Sir Jim Ratcliffe. And if you think of it like that, and you think at the end of the day that the club, you know, it's the Man United badge means more to me than who's in power, if that and the level of in which they're at power, I should say, not who's in power, the level of in which they're at power. They're only going to have a minority stake in the club, and they're going to sell it on later on. They have now they're out of my head as far as I'm concerned. Yes, there'll be a price to pay later on. I understand that, but the reality is Sir Jim might actually come in because he's appeased so many people. He's pleased so many people. You know, I would prefer the Qataris. The Qataris would make everything a lot smoother in terms of the evolution of this club and getting the quality players in, the facilities, the community. They're going to do so much, I believe, for Manchester. But with Sir Jim, you know, he's filling other people's pockets at the same time as well, and making other people, you know, happy at the same time. So I think he can still deliver for the club, and I think he can still be successful under the way that he wants to structure things. So then we have to go forward with that, and we have to understand that that's a possibility.
Marcel, we've had more madness this morning, okay? We've not only got Marcel madness with ourselves in the chat. VK gifted 10, and now he's gifted another 10. Another 10 UV membership this morning. He's done it again. That's reckless. That's reckless. Oh, my goodness me. VK's gifted another 10 memberships. Big up yourself, VK.
Appreciate you, VK, man.
Supporter of the channel. Absolutely. Yeah, big up VK, big mod. Supporter, member, and now joined by Yusuf, Andreas, United is Life. What a finish. Keji, Marlon. Let me give it the rest of these here. M Bison, give a Langer time. I think understand what that account wants. Paul Lucas and Eskimo as well, the latest members of the UV Members Club. Look at that, Marcel. We're growing this morning. They can all see the Marcel madness, and again, that clip is coming soon. I'm trying to sort of multitask and get that. Oh, you know what it is, Marcel? That episode is so good that I was just going to get the watermelon clip, and then I saw a clip of you with your car freshener spray, and I want to get that as well. Do you remember that?
Yeah. But I can't remember what it was for. I can't remember what I bought it for. I think it's just for my hotel to make it smell nicer. I bought car freshener spray.
Yeah, and it's huge. The bottle is like this big, and the spray,
nice, you know?
The spray is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Man.
It smells nice. I'll bring it into the studio next time. I'll bring it.
It's the best. As part of this article, though, from L'Equipe as well, talking about Rabiot and a free transfer, they did say that the other transfer priority this summer was Harry Kane. Now, Marcel, obviously, look, I have to give you your flowers once again. And this is a very flower-centric show for you this morning, because we have done so many shows going all the way back to last summer. And you were telling me, Owen, We need to sign Harry Kane. Harry Kane. He can get us trophies. That Harry Kane and Ten Hag. That is the connection. Yeah, that is what they were saying.
Everyone remembers my hands.
Yeah, exactly. Time does not exist. Time is a construct. Okay. I do not believe in birthdays. You do not understand. I have one birthday. That was my birthday. No more birthdays.
You're right, though.
So look, he's saying that the article saying that Kane is a transfer priority. It's always been a priority for you. How confident do you feel that deal can happen in the summer?
So with the emergence of Osimhen, his brilliant form, I think Ten Hag has obviously options in and not a lot of options and not a lot of world-class options. But that's the reason why I think Harry Kane's the deal for Harry Kane is going to be difficult to achieve. I think I've seen a couple of your morning shows with Flex and potentially could take the whole of the summer or at least till the midsummer point, and that's a reality because of the fact that you're dealing with the Tottenham board and just the whole saga around. He's not obviously come out and said that he doesn't want to leave and anything, so he's not pushing for the deal. But I've said it for a long time. Harry Kane's exactly what Manchester United need. We've scored how many goals this season? 40, 50 goals. Imagine if you've got another 20 goals on top of that from Harry Kane. Harry Kane's one of those players that consistently delivers. He's chasing Alan Shearer's 280, the English Premier League record. He still needs trophies. He still needs a Premier League title. How can someone that scores so many goals not have a Premier League title? He's been in Champions League finals. I think he's even been in international finals as well. So he understands the big moments. He's just missing that last stage, which is actually being successful in those moments. Ten Hag, we've seen Ten Hag develop players. We've seen Ten Hag develop footballers. So imagine Ten Hag having the opportunity to work with a world-class striker and develop him into his last phase of his career.
I mean, this is what I've been saying recently too, is you look at the chances that Bruno Fernandes creates for people, right? Bruno Fernandes, I'll keep bringing up this stat because it's true. This season, in terms of players combining in the Premier League, Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford have made the most combined chances for each other. That may have changed over the last weekend, but at one point, I think it was 36 chances created. 33 of them came from Bruno. Only 3 went the other way for Rashford creating them for Bruno, right? But that just goes to show the output that Bruno Fernandes has when it comes to chance creation. And the second on that list was Harry Kane and Heung-min Son. And you just think, if Bruno was creating those chances for a Harry Kane, he scores at least half of them because he's that clinical, he's that lethal. And another stat that I saw this weekend is that Harry Kane is the most consistent goal scorer in the Premier League this season. I.e., yes, Erling Haaland just scored more goals, but Harry Kane's actually scored in more games than Erling Haaland. So it just goes to show that basically at the moment, and for the last near decade, Marcel, Harry Kane scores in near enough every game. he always gets a goal. And you just feel like, and we'll talk about top 4 in a bit, but I don't think we'd be having a conversation of, can we get over the line? Can we fall over the line? If we'd have had 20 extra goals this season, we'd already be in top 4. It wouldn't even be a conversation.
It would have done the magic. You said it the other day. Those 2 1-0s. Okay, yes, there's poor mistakes at the back in the defensive line, but you just said it. Harry Kane's bound to score every other game or every game. He would have at least made those results a 1-1 against Brighton. Or at least we would have converted a couple of chances. Anthony had chances earlier on in the first half. Like he's been having a lot in games as well, by the way. Anthony always picks up good areas and has good shots. But imagine Harry Kane being the one with the ball at his feet, having shots on target. He's scoring. So I think he's a wonderful player. And I think, Martial can learn from him. And I would like Martial to be number 2 and Harry Kane to be number 1 going into next season.
What do you say, though, to people when they have that criticism of, he's too old, there's no salon value, it's not long-term thinking? What do you say about that, though? The long-term thinking is forever. This game is going to be played for eternity. So, I'm looking at what in this phase and this cycle is important now. Our issue is the striker now. I'm not worried about, there's going to be footballers for the next billion of years. I'm not thinking about that. That we want to win the games now and have top players in the club now and encouraging and inspiring the young footballers now. So I want him in the team now. I'm not worried about
10 years from now, or 20 years, or 100 years from now. This next
time doesn't exist.
Time doesn't exist. So he's got so
One
the
more
metric
time.
has to be for someone like me, Owen. The metric has to be different. Right? You know when they're saying, "Oh, he's too old," it doesn't matter. Benzema won the Ballon d'Or. Modric has been in prime form. I think he's 37 or 38 and still looks as good as ever. You know, age for me is just literally a number. And if you're old enough, you're good enough. Not just if you're young enough. If you're old enough, you're good enough. And Harry Kane will be good enough easily for the next 3 or 4 years.
And look, I think when it comes to him, I mean, they're saying like he's super old. He's 30 in the summer. You know, Harry Kane can play at a high level for the next 3-4 years, I think.
I think he can even convert into a 10 as well. I mean, he can convert. He can play further back as the career, just like Ryan Giggs did for us. You know, he can play further back as the career goes on. It's if he looks after his body like Ryan Giggs does, that's a whole different level. But yeah.
Or even someone like a Totti, you know what I mean? A striker, but then goes into a 10 as he gets older and carries on and all that kind of stuff. So I could see something like that, but it's just the Daniel Levy part of it, isn't it? It's the Daniel Levy part of getting involved in that. I mean, you said about a transfer saga. That is a transfer saga waiting to happen, isn't it? Harry Kane, Daniel Levy, even if we start negotiating now, that's not getting done till August.
Yeah, exactly. And what's the alternatives though? Because that's £100 million player. And if we don't have the budget, can we go higher than 100 million? The Osimhen's 105, 110, or do you have to revert back to a lower fee player? And who is that? And are they the caliber to score us 20 goals in the Premier League?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know who that player would be. Honestly,
Ivan
Osimhen,
Toney,
like you said, maybe the problem you've got with him, of course, is that. You know, obviously he's got that the case coming up, the FA charge thing, and we don't know how long, if there is a ban, which you would think there would be a ban, how long that's going to affect us for. We can't afford to be waiting that long. I saw something in here. Lil Yo-Yo says Gonzalo Ramos and Vlahovic. Well, Gonzalo Ramos, they do think might be available, but again, 100 million, that's about 100 million, and he's certainly a lot less proven than Harry Kane and Victor Osimhen. Younger, but the risk is much higher. Vlahovic, I think, is off the table at this point. Juventus are doing really well. Now, obviously, look, there's a situation going on with them. They might have another points deduction or whatever. As things stand, Juventus are second in Serie A, and they might make Europa League final. So they're doing fine, essentially. Again, you never know what could happen when it comes to sort of the cases that they have against them, but I don't know. Love with the super chat says, Bruno has created 103 key passes, the most in Europe this season. Since Bruno joined United, he is second most assists in Europe. Imagine we had Kane. This is my point. You know, this is exactly, you've summed up exactly my point when it comes to that. I just think that people can talk about Bruno and his numbers dropping off. They go, oh, yeah, not as many assists. It's because we don't score enough goals. Like Bruno, he's making, it's not as if we don't make chances. Imagine Anthony could finish. We'd have like at least 10 more goals this season. Yeah, you know, that's what we need. And we have a goal scorer like Harry Kane. I think it's a massive, massive bonus. Love with the other super chat says, Marcel, keep De Gea or Glazers for 10 more years.
Oh, Love, there's no question about this at all. For 1 second in my mind, you have to keep David De Gea, I think. You know, and I was
waiting for a madness there, Marcel. I was with bated breath. I was like, surely he won't. But you didn't. So good. I'm happy. I'm proud of you there. You didn't rise to the bait. You know, you said, and to be fair, recently, like the other day when we had the full view, this time last week when we had the full view, I think people were waiting for you to go in on David De Gea and this, that, and the other, and you said, no, I've got nothing else to say. I've been saying it, and critically, and this is a good point too. We've got back David De Gea. You know, he's going to be really important. He's won the Golden Glove this season. As to what happens in the summer with someone else, he's going to stay. Like people are going to have to get over that because he's going to stay. Yeah, he's going to sign a new contract. It's a case of whether we get a new goalkeeper or not. And then Marcel can. What are you going to be like when we get a new goalkeeper? I feel like you're going to be really attached.
I'm buying the shirt. I'm buying the shirt. I don't know what see because if Harry Kane comes, and I'm glad we're here today this morning, Owen, because
I know
we have a bet. We have a bet. I know. So what's happening with this bet? Because are you wearing the David De Gea shirt? Am I wearing it? But if we get a new goalkeeper, I would like to wear his. Especially if he's a top class goalkeeper, I would buy the shirt. If it's like a Diogo Costa, someone that because. You know, I think David De Gea will have a good use in terms of bringing the new goalkeeper in, getting him understand the club, the ethos of the club, the pressure in big games. A new goalkeeper, especially a modern goalkeeper, can learn so much from David Gea. So keep him. But if we do the right thing and bring him in this season or next season, I'm going to buy the shirt. I'm going to buy the goalkeeper shirt.
I tell you what, that whole Harry Kane bet, and I live up to my bets, yeah? I'm a man of my word. I've not been training hard enough to fit into that shirt at UVHQ. I will be honest.
It's so small. Me and Flex were talking about the other day. It's tiny, and I'm tiny, and it's going to fit.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
I mean, even if I trained really hard, I'm not sure it's healthy that I should be able to get into that shirt, because I should not be able to get into that shirt. Yeah. I'd have to be like Conor McGregor, UFC early career kind of level. You know, when he's got all the shrunken. Like that, get it? I'll try. No one will be able to ever wear it again because, you know, it will be broken certainly, but I'll give it a go. That's gonna be.
Love said he wants an emoji of you in the shirt.
Well, yeah, that's gonna. Keegan with the super chat says we can't continue with the stopgaps. Is that referring to Harry Kane? I don't see Harry Kane as a stopgap. I really don't. I see it as the future. Now, Marcel, I said that I was going to get a couple of clips from Marcel Madness. Now, for those watching this, if you're not a member of the United View Members Club, this is the kind of stuff you're missing out on. So the first clip I have today, this is from one of the recent episodes of UV Raw. It's just titled Marcel Madness. And again, exclusive to UV members, is the car spray. I've got a clip of the car spray in question, and you can explain more about the car spray. Here it is.
What have you got? A car spray. Well, I put it in the hotel.
Why?
In the hotel, innit? To make the hotel smell nice. I was in travel lodge this time, man, so...
But why didn't you just get air freshener?
It was what I had with me in my room.
Have you got a car?
Does it smell nice?
Have you got a car?
No.
So why have you got car freshener?
Because it's nice. Okay, yeah, well, it's nice. It smells nice. Yeah.
I can't even smell it. Look, spray it. Look how big the spray is. What the fuck is that? It's in the car.
Smell it, bro. Don't say that don't smell nice. At least give me that credit. Alright, that's it. Yeah, you can laugh at me now.
Wait, if I ever see you and I smell that, fam.
Oh, honestly. The
Spray.
spray.
Trying to say that I sprayed it on myself. This make my clothes smell. He's
The spray, honestly, I've never seen anything like it. It looked like a fog machine, Marcel. It looked like,
I'll bring it. I've got like 3-4 of them at home, just all lined up in my room.
Why did you have that many?
I don't know. It's cheap. It was cheap. I can't remember. I was like a $5 for like 4 or 5 or something. It's cheap. But they're nice.
It was so big. That's what caught you by surprise. When I watched it the first time and I saw you go, I've got car spray, I was thinking, oh, that's okay. And then I saw the spray, it was huge. It was massive. Oh, wow. Guys, what likes are we on at the moment? We are currently on 137 likes. If we can get to 200 likes, I will play, by the end of the show, I will play the famous watermelon clip, yeah, which is, it's like 2.5 minutes, and I've had to cut it down, but it's like 2.5 minutes, and it's the best. I think, honestly, Marcel, it might be one of the favorite things we've ever done here on United View. It's an all-timer moment, yeah, all-timer moment. So get to 200 likes, and we'll play the Marcel watermelon clip. Oh.
Yeah, we need a watermelon emoji now.
We do. We need watermelon emoji. And, you know, Marcel loves his fruit as well. You know, if it's eating it on a train, if it's poisoning me, like that's what Marcel does. Okay. Well, Josh says,
sorry, man. I'm so sorry.
Josh says 500 likes. 500 likes. 500 likes, and then we get the Marcel watermelon clip, and it's worth it. Yeah, it's proper worth it. It's worth it as well. I do want to talk about Alejandro Garnacho. Bruno Fernandes has spoken about Garnacho. Of course, Garnacho came on at the weekend, scored the goal in injury time to make it 2-0 against Wolves. And Bruno Fernandes was asked about his statement about Garnacho previously, earlier on in the season, when he said he didn't have the right attitude during the tour. I believe he said that was after when Garnacho scored against Fulham. I think it was something like that. And obviously, he said in an interview, he said, oh, you know, in the tour, he didn't have the best attitude. And Bruno was asked about that. And Bruno said, quote, that message was from the manager, not me. I just heard what the manager said. This is what I have to say to Garnacho. I tell him directly. If he wants to listen, he listens. If not, he doesn't listen, but I tried to help him. I think he gave an interview in which he said that I often try to help. And that's what I'm trying to do. I think he has understood what it takes to be a professional player, and he takes it into account. He works a lot in the gym with the coaches, and he is rewarded. I don't want to compliment him too much because you can tend to slack off if you get too many compliments when you're young. We need this Alejandro who scores goals, makes assists, collects balls, and everything. So quite interesting there, Marcel, that when they sort of push back to him and they say, why did you say that about Garnacho? He just goes, that's what the manager said. So if that's what the manager said, then I'm going to just repeat it. I'm going to back the manager.
Yeah. I don't know. At first, when I read that, I felt like, okay, he's kind of backing off from his statement there, not owning it himself. This is the captain going into next season. I would like a captain to be able to just, say it with chest. Yes, this is what I said. But also what he mentions is the defensive side of the game. And I remember at the beginning of the season, I'd made a couple of tweets about Garnacho saying, look, that his interactions with Ten Hag during the game are not the type that one would expect from a young player, trying to be impressionable, trying to get minutes trying to perform well. And I got a bit of backlash about it, but I was just saying the attitude thing. And then all of a sudden Bruno mentions it, and then he mentions that his manager said it. And then it started to look like something, but people were saying I was trying to hone in on the player. I wasn't trying to hone in on the player and get on his back. I was just making a reference that within the 90 minutes of a game, Ten Hag will be shouting instructions at him, and he'll be giving bad body language and conversation back to your gaffer. If I was on that pitch, I wouldn't be doing that. If he's telling me something, I'll be doing it. And when Bruno mentions chasing back collecting the football or collecting, transitional moments, chasing down players, this is what Ten Hag, I believe, was maybe saying, and maybe has potentially said to Garnacho. He's a top young player. I think you as a young person, you have to have that kind of chip on your shoulder, that Cantona-esque personality, at a young age. If you've got that, you go to the top level naturally because you've got the belief, you take control of games. And that's what he done against the other day. He scores in a big moment for us. So he's learning and he's becoming more mature as a player. But there's little things that he has to work on. And I think Bruno mentions that. I think Ten Hag can see it. And I love when he gets the new contract, what Ten Hag says to his family and to Garnacho himself about continuing to improve on. So Bruno's the right guy in terms of a captain saying the right things. I think Garnacho has been a fabulous player this season and has matured, and hopefully he can continue to do that.
No, I agree. I think we forget, don't we, that this is a kid that's 18. He's super young, and he wasn't even at the beginning of the season. He wasn't like close to the first team or anything like that. He went on tour, didn't play for whatever reason. But this time last season, he just played in the FA Youth Cup final. And a year later, he's got a new 5-year contract at United. He's a first-team player at this point. He's scoring big goals, match-winning goals or match-winning assists in games. And clearly, he's got a super bright future ahead of him. And I think the key thing is obviously to continue to have him develop, but also keep his feet grounded as possible. And that's difficult, especially in today's age where there's so much money on the line and there's so much, trappings of success and football available to you. We've seen talented players, someone like Dele Alli, right? Start off meteoric rise, go from MK Dons to Spurs, fantastic, and then where is he now? That can happen with a player, and I think that's why you can see Ten Hag being firm with him. I think that's why you can see Bruno. He says it in the quote. I don't want to compliment him too much because if I compliment him too much, then maybe that'll make him slack off. And if you get too many compliments when you're young, you tend not to try as hard. You need to instill that drive, that determination, that belief. So I'm confident he's surrounded by the right people, particularly in Ten Hag. I think the way he's managed Garnacho this season has been pretty much spot on, actually, to be honest. And like you said, having a captain like Bruno, I think that's perfect for him. I still do think, he's still got a way to go. I mean, I still think his most effective period is when he is coming off the bench, sort of 65 minutes, when he's, so quick, he's direct. I mean, that's the real best time for him. But he's got, honestly, how high do you think his potential is, realistically?
The greatest praise that I think we can say now, and because it's so early as well, Owen, is he looks like a number 7 for Manchester United Football Club. I think that is a massive praise so early in your tenure at the club. He's
got it on his arm. He's got it tattooed on his arm.
Yeah, the tattoo. Yeah. So he looks like a number 7 for Manchester United Football Club. And not many people get to wear that shirt. And only some of the best players in the world have worn that shirt. So that's his level potentially if he wants it, but he has to continue working hard within the team. Ten Hag mentioned it when he signs a contract in front of his family. You know, he's now got a newborn. He's becoming a man very early, very young, similar to like a Phil Foden. But his bracket is really a number 7 for Manchester United. You know, scoring and assisting consistently, and another player that can do that as well is Ahmad. You know, Ahmad is one of those that is coming in. I think he's going to be the one. I think he might even surpass Garnacho because his level is really high. Yeah, I believe he could. Yep.
I was going to. My next question was about Ahmad. Obviously, like, he scored that unbelievable goal in the playoffs at the weekend. Brilliant. And, you know, frankly, he's been scoring goals all season for Sunderland. He's their player of the year. And he might be a reason that Sunderland gets back to the Premier League. We can't even overlook that. I mean, if you watch that game as well, because I had the game on in the background, and then after he scored, I was really paying a bit more attention to it after the full-time view. And when you watch Sunderland play, like, their tactic is give the ball to Ahmad. Like, give the ball to him, and he'll figure something out. He'll make it work. And obviously, again, I know it's the Championship, and a Championship to the Premier League is a big step, let alone Championship to Manchester United. But I said this to you, didn't I, after the game on Saturday? I said, could you see a future, a way in the future, where you've got a Manchester United starting lineup that's got Garnacho on the left and Ahmad on the right?
Yep. And it sounded beautiful to me when you said it then. And it sounds even better now. Ahmad can play in the 10, is so creative on the ball, and Ahmad and Garnacho on both wings. I don't know, maybe because they're so young, inconsistency can creep in. But like you said, in the future, when they mature, 23, 24, they're both dynamic, graceful footballers, creative footballers. That's what you want, man. But Ahmad's ready now. I really genuinely believe, you know, who has worked, Tony Mowbray and Co at Sunderland have worked with him and really matured his game. He's ready now to play and can be very, very effective. That's a great piece of business. Maybe the best piece of business that Ole and Co have done, because Ahmad's top.
Yeah, I mean, and I can't remember the last time alone went this well for United, realistically, honestly. Because even when like people like Jesse Lingard came in, he was at Derby, and then he came into the United side, but he didn't really turn up trees that much at Derby. I can't remember a last time where a player's gone out on loan like this, and you go, man, we need him back. I mean, even last year with Ghana, we thought Ghana was going to be involved, didn't we? And then he got sold in the summer.
Imagine that.
You know,
that was weird. That was peculiar. And then we haven't seen him. I mean, he got injured, I think, for Everton or something. And then we didn't see him. And we really thought he was the level. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and so, but Ahmad, I think you're right. I think Ahmad's got something about him. I mean, it's going to be interesting. If Sunderland do make it to the Premier League, then I think they'll ask United. I think they'll say, can we have him on loan again? It's a Premier League season. That could be really beneficial for him first.
Would you do it?
The thing is, my concern is we need more on the right-hand side. We do. You know, Anthony, I think there's progression there. Anthony's still young, but he needs someone to push him, and we need something different on the right-hand side as well, for me, you know, because, for instance, at the weekend, people were saying that I was being harsh on Anthony because he got an assist, but he's capable of so much more, and his decision-making is so frustrating at times because...
Agreed.
You know, it's play the right pass, he'll play the worst pass possible, or he headed it over from 6 yards. He gets himself in the right areas, so it's not as if he's not doing the right thing. So I do think if he works on his finishing or his composure or his passing ability, then I think he can be really, really top-notch, but he's very frustrating. And I do think he needs competition. Everyone needs competition. The thing is, so who is Anthony's competition on the right-hand side? Because it's not, even though we brought in Sancho, it's not Sancho. He's meant to be left-hand side. So who is it?
There's no one. Ahmad comes in. That's why I think Ahmad comes in so strong next season and hits the ground running if he is part of the side, because he will look the part as well. But do you think, and question to everyone else as well, do you think that Anthony's had a good first season? You know, consider for the price tag and what he's done, and look, he gets up in good positions. You know, he's proactive defensively. And I think he's got double figures goal contributions in his first season as a wide player. I don't think Grealish got that the last season.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Anthony's had a bad season or anything like that. I mean, obviously, and we said this, and to be fair, the Ajax guys said this when we bought Anthony. When we bought him for 100 million euros, they said he is not a 100 million euro player. He's not. Yeah, he's good, but he's not worth that. That's not his fault. That's United's fault for deciding to go for Antony with like 7 days left, and Ajax haven't done all their business. And it was a case of, well, look, we'll sell him for 100 million euros. And then United was like, well, we're going to do it. So I don't know if you can necessarily judge him for that. I think what also maybe didn't help him is that his first 3 Premier League games, he scored in every single one of them. And they were good goals. He scored against Arsenal. He scored against City. And did he score against, was it Everton as well? I think it was. Yeah. And then after that, he didn't score a Premier League goal until he scored against Forest recently. But he did score some goals in the Europa League and stuff like that. Obviously got the winner against Barcelona, played well in that game. So that there is something there. I don't think it's a case of, we've bought a dud or anything like that. He's young. I appreciate his work rate as well. And I appreciate his tactical discipline too. I still think there's a way to go though. But I do think he'll get better next season. So I think he's had an okay first season. The question is though, Marcel, what does it mean for the right-hand side with Palestri? What does he do? Where does he go?
That's a great question. That's a great question because when you think about the crop of 4 wide players, you've got Sancho, Palestri, Ahmad, Garnacho. Do Garnacho, Palestri, and Ahmad all surpass Sancho, who are by the way, they were all within the same 3 or 4 years difference within each other. So they're all, taking up each other's position within the same period of their careers kind of thing. So they're competing against each other directly. Does Sancho get surpassed by all 3 of them at some stage? Because even Palestri, we've seen glimpses of it. Fantastic, very aggressive on the ball, wants to go past players. Palestri is fantastic and can play on the right-hand side. He looks like a traditional right-hand-sided player. Plays on the right, dribbles down the right, and looks to cross and cutbacks. Brilliant at all those things. So could even surpass Sancho at that rate, unfortunately.
I think Sancho, this is my Marcel bold statement for the morning. I put the poll in the chat the weekend, has Sancho been a flop at United? And so far he has. He has not lived up to expectation. Now, I'm not saying get rid of him in the summer, but I'm saying he's got maybe 1 season left, I think. Otherwise, it's like, what are you doing? I understand there's been a lot going on and background and all that kind of stuff. And the first season that he came in wasn't ideal considering, the circumstances at United. But you have to remember what we thought we were getting, and we haven't got it. We haven't got it from Jadon Sancho so far. And for me, he has 1 season left. I think he is on, and it's not his fault, but he is on astronomical wages at United. He's one of the highest paid players in the Premier League. He has to be offering more, and he's not offering more. And now you start to question, when he was getting all of these assists at Borussia Dortmund, was that because he was playing in a team with Erling Haaland and you just had to put it on a plate for him and he'll score? Was that really why, or was it quality? And for me, he's got to show more. Scholes says, we want Qatar, but what do we really know about them? Gas because there's a pic of him in uni in a United top. We don't need City money. We just need good decision makers. Maybe Sir Jim Ratcliffe can bring that #Devil's Advocate LOL. Is there a picture of him in uni in United top? There was a picture of Sheikh Jassim at Old Trafford this season, and it wasn't true. And everyone went, he's at Old Trafford in a United shirt. And he wasn't. That wasn't true. Love says Sancho and Antony, 155 million. Garnacho and Rashi, 420k. I think referring to price tags and that. But obviously, look, Garnacho and Rashford came through the academy as well. Marcel, a bit of an update on this. I don't know if we're going to see the watermelon clip this morning. It's disappointing. But
how many likes have we got? Only 3. Come on, guys, bring up the like. You're going to see how many likes have we got? 300.
Not even that, Marcel. No. Yeah, we got nearly 1,000 people watching, and we've got 217 likes. Now, I've had it on good authority, orders from Just Josh Media, Graphics Guru, Visual Ninja, that unless we get 500 likes, the watermelon clip ain't happening. And
I'm most probably going to get sacked at it because, as you can see, it's the first time in a long time that's been me and you. So I'm most probably get shipped off after this because of the lack of likes.
Good is not good enough. 10 arc settings, good is not good enough. Lil Yo says absolute disgrace. It's a cheat, like the vid people. And honestly, like the watermelon clip, as I said earlier on, I mean, I don't want to overhype it, but it legitimately is one of the best things we've ever done here at United View. Yeah, it's an all-timer moment for me. And I mean, we're now at 260, but there's a long way to go. I don't even think it's possible at this point, honestly. We'd have to be looking for miracle settings. We're looking for 240 likes. It's possible, the amount of people watching, 950 people watching, it's possible to get to 500. But I don't know. We're looking
more than settings. You know, they're having their porridge, they're eating, they're relaxing. Maybe they just need a few moments to just, you know, smash the like button.
Yeah, I mean, Chris says like. People that have seen it as well. Lil Yo-Yo says the clip is elite. Trust me, people like the video. SJ says Josh whinging at the watermelon is unbelievable. Like it's honestly, it's so strong, the clip. Yeah. And now look at these people. They're trying to negotiate. They're trying to negotiate with us. They're saying, oh, maybe it gets to 350. Maybe it gets to 400. What's going on, guys? Well, I mean, this is Manchester United negotiation territory at the moment. The asking price was 500. The asking price was 500. Now we're trying to negotiate down to 350, 400. It's possible. There's over 900 people watching. We only need at this point. We're heading up to 300 now. Yeah, we're 297. We're at 300. We only need 200 of you out of the 941 people watching have to click like. That's possible. That's realistic. We can do that. Yeah, exactly. And whilst that's happening, because I've got faith in you guys. Yeah, 200 left to go. Marcel, did you see Arsenal yesterday?
Oh, I'm so happy. And I think Josh is still in the chat. Crumbleization. I said it that they were going to crumbleization. Crumbled, no spine, nothing. Remember, imagine, was it? I think it was Cecil. The table halfway through the season. The shirt. No class, nothing from Cecil. A Premier League shirt halfway through the season, expecting trophies. And now look at them. 3-0 capitulation.
Yeah, and I saw Don Robbie, yeah. I saw him talking, suddenly the king of deflection. I mean, the king of deflection. Because somehow, some way, who does he blame it on? United fans. I see all these United fans. They're coming at us. The Carabao Cup don't matter. The February trophy. Arsenal don't care about the February trophy. Whoa, Robbie. Why are we getting strays here? You're the one that didn't win. You're the one that didn't win yesterday. You're the one that was 8, count them, 4 fingers on each hand, 8 points ahead, and then you drew with Liverpool, West Ham, Southampton. They've just been relegated. You drew with Southampton at home. Yes, that happened to us. We're not in a title race. You're better than us. You're better than us. You've told us you're better than us all season. Then who did you lose to? Man City. Then who did you lose to? Brighton at home. Oh, it's all funny when United lose at home to Brighton earlier on this season. 3-0. We didn't do a 3-0, Marcel, did we?
Exactly.
Oh, we didn't do a 3-0. We didn't do anything like that. But it's United's fault. Oh, we didn't bottle it. We didn't crumble. I can smell on a Monday morning a lot of crumble in the air. Yeah? A lot of crumble and boo.
Creme brulee. That's exactly. A creme brulee club.
And now, Marcel, this is the question, yeah. If we get top 4, which I think we will, Carabao Cup, is Carabao Cup and top 4 a better season than what Arsenal have had?
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%. Trophies meaning they've done all of that work for no reason, just to see maybe the level. But and like what I said when I was outside the Emirates, I said, well, it's 1 for 1 as far as I'm concerned. I can't wait to be able to run it back next season. I know at home we'll be confident and ready to play against them, and we usually do well there. And I think Ten Hag has got Arteta's number for me. He's a better manager. I've been saying it this season. I think he's a better manager. And once we get the type of players that we need, the profiles that Ten Hag finally wants, he can get rid and have his complete squad. Arteta's at least a couple years ahead in this process. That's what it is. So for me, expecting Ten Hag to brush Arsenal home and away next season.
Strong. I like that, Marcel. And what is also growing in strength is the likes. I feel like we can do it now. We still got 888 people watching. We're 340 likes. We're 160 away from 500. We can do this.
Come on, guys.
Remember, if you get to 500, we get the watermelon clip. And it's not just a
one
clip.
Of the 5 a day.
It's a saga, honestly. It's 2 minutes, 35 seconds long, yeah? It's a saga. It's incredible. Marcel's in the chat, as always. Yeah, I see that Josh is also, what's he saying? Josh says, Marcel's a liar. He said it's not a better season. I have Minna as a witness. Josh
that is
a liar,
I think
man.
it is. You'd have to see the next episode of Raw to see that discussion, because I'm pretty sure a Carabao Cup plus fourth place is better than Arsenal's second place and capitulation.
Yeah, but did you lie, Marcel? Did you lie? That's the question.
I can't remember if I'm honest.
Marcel, you did lie. You did lie, didn't you?
Nah, I don't think I did. We'd have to see what Minna said. That's why I said we're seeing the conversation, because I can't remember.
Feels like there's a light deflection going on here. Feels like Don Robbie settings.
Does it? I'm just being honest. I can't remember. I doubt I would have said that.
Marcel, you flip flop.
No, I'm not flip flopping. I'm being honest. I can't remember. I doubt I would have said that. When I've asked, I'm sticking with what I've said to you. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. We are 151 away. Yeah, 151 away from 500 likes. We're 150, round number away. We can do this. I might even have to put Mike Phelan on the screen. Wait a minute. Where is he? Mike Phelan territories on the screen. Yeah. 148. Oh, wait, I'm literally going to count it bit by bit. Yeah. We're going into overtime settings. Usually we only go for an hour. We have less than 150 away from Marcel's Watermelon Madness being broadcast to the world, free to air, by the way. Usually you'd have to pay for this, yeah? Exclusive to members only. If we can get there we go, Marcel pay-per-view, watermelon porridge, yeah?
I like that.
So keep going. 100, less than 140 to go now. It's possible. There's still 800 people watching. We can do this. Exactly. I believe it's possible, Marcel. But as that's going up, and it will go up to 500, yeah. 2 more wins are needed, Marcel, to get top 4. Are we going to do it?
Yes. We've got Bournemouth, and by the way, it's going to be the away fixture that's going to set up a fantastic game against Chelsea at not Stamford Bridge, at Old Trafford, and that would be amazing end to the season. Hopefully against Fulham, you can relax and enjoy watching some of the youth players, Kobe, maybe Palestri. You can get them getting minutes, for the last game of the season against Fulham at home. But we'll beat Bournemouth. I genuinely believe we'll beat Bournemouth away from home, even though that's been the worst. That's been the highlight of our season, or the thing that we've had to see the most. Poor performances away from home. That's what Ten Hag needs to fix. But
is there any way that Liverpool lose tonight?
They drop points. It's possible that they drop points. I think they're playing Leicester, right?
They're playing Leicester away.
Yeah, it's possible they drop points. I could see a draw. If James Maddison wants to leave and join United, he'll do us a favour and he'll perform tonight.
Because my feeling was there ever a chance that, so if Liverpool lose tonight, then all we have to do is beat Bournemouth and we've qualified, right? I would assume that's how it would work.
4 points though, isn't it? So isn't it beat Bournemouth and then collect a draw out of the last 2 games? Maybe is it 4 points, or am I right? You could be right.
Well, because my thought process is that we need 2 more wins, right? Yes. As of right now. But then if Liverpool were to lose, then surely we would just need 1 more win, if that would work. Is that correct? No,
I think you're right.
I'm not sure the maths is mathing. Yeah, I would be. Louis says 3 points and that's it. Indeed. So yeah, if Liverpool lose tonight, then it would just be 3 points. So is there a chance we could go to Bournemouth next weekend and it could all be over?
That would be beautiful. Because then it's two games at home after that, and I get to enjoy. Even though I've been enjoying the whole season, but I get to enjoy us play again at home. But we'll beat Bournemouth. Listen, I know we've been poor away from home, but we'll beat Bournemouth 100%, 100%, guaranteed 3 points. There's no way we lose to Bournemouth. There's just no way. 100%. We need to win this game. 100%. 100%. I don't know why you're laughing.
That's because whenever we do the Marcel impression, it's always 100%. 100%. Like check Marcel. I'm not feeling confident anymore. I feel like we're gonna fail.
What are we at? 4?
No.
377.
377. Do we have to negotiate down to go to 400?
400 would be nice. I mean, we're 5 minutes. We're almost coming up into 5 minutes into overtime.
Overtime, yeah. I mean, I said we'll go 400. 400. I'm disappointed with it. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, Josh is going to be that.
He's going to be furious. He's going to be furious.
Yeah.
But we've got 21 likes to go to Watermelon Gate. Yeah, this is what this is going to be described as, Watermelon Gate. I thought it was possible. There's a lot of passengers this morning. You know, we got to get to 400. So we're 21 already, 19 away from getting Watermelon, and I'm sure we'll be getting a phone call. Look. He's not going to be happy.
No, yeah, says Josh ain't feeling it.
Yeah. Kristen says Owen wanting 500 likes is the Glazers wanting 6 billion, more rounds needed. Look, that used to be the target, 500. Maybe it was too much too soon. Maybe it was, maybe
it was building towards 750 back in the day. It was building towards 750s, yeah.
Yeah, but now we're 10 likes away. So 10 likes away, and Marcel's Watermelon Madness will be playing. But I feel like it's kind of tainted a little bit now because we didn't get the target we wanted to. We had to settle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they're still gonna find it hilarious, possibly anyway.
It's very true. It's very true. Right, we're 10 likes away. 10 likes, 9. Like United, we are going to fall over the season. We are going to fall over the line at the end of this. Yeah, we're literally just going to trickle over. 5 likes away from getting there. There is definitely 5 people that haven't liked the team at the moment. Yeah, that's what they've got to do.
It's like 200 people, really, truly.
Exactly. It's a disgrace and it's a cheat. 2 left, Marcel. 2 left. Yeah.
Come on.
There we go. We hit 400. Oh, I got there in the end. My God. Let's play the clip that you've all been waiting for.
Taste this right now, bro.
Nah, I don't like watermelon.
I beg you. Listen, taste this.
He's begging. Nah, it's calm. The insistence.
You're gonna regret it.
Bro, the only reason it's alright, I'm not gonna regret it because I don't like it, so it's alright. Bro, this guy.
But how many experiences have you had?
Look, it's only because you've got like 20 of them and you can't get through it yourself, fam.
No. Why are you distracted from the point? You're in the goalpost. Listen, the goalpost here, there. Listen, taste one. How many cakes of watermelon have you had?
You can offer to one of these other training people.
Excuse me. Do you like watermelon?
No, thank you. I have my orange. Thank you.
Oh, look. Give me a review of it and then tell me.
Is it about to go off? It's
very juicy. Oh my God. This is not a joke.
Well, I'm not. I don't want one. I'm fussy as well. Also, don't walk to Euston. Get the train.
Really? Yeah.
Takes 30 seconds to train, 15-minute walk.
Okay. Thank you.
Here's the review, personal review, bro.
Yeah, it's alright. It's alright. Oh. Yeah, I don't.
Would you like one? Would you like? You're missing out, bro.
I'm missing out, innit? It's alright. It's alright.
Sweet. It's sweet, innit? Sweet.
One of the better watermelons.
One of the better
Bruv, I've had watermelons in tropical countries, fam. Yeah, and I still didn't want it. If I don't like it, I don't like it, fam.
What tropical countries? That's the difference as well.
What do you mean? What's the difference as well, fam?
Look, there's difference in
what, bruv? I could have a watermelon in bloody Guyana, fam, yeah, and it's gonna taste better than that, fam.
Marks and Spencer has cut these.
Nah. Bro, my one come off the tree, fam. What are you telling me? Yeah. And even then, I don't matter, fam. I don't really like the texture. I don't. Yeah.
You really just.
I don't like the texture. I'm like, why has it got seeds in it? I'd rather eat a mango or a pineapple.
Well, mango and pineapple are nice as well.
Yeah, there you go. I just don't like melon or watermelon.
I beg you try.
Nah.
Just so you can at least say to everyone it's rubbish. At least that way you know.
Oh,
you know.
this guy, fam, flipping it. Oh, you're an absolute disgrace to the teeth. Don't like it.
No. See, that's not eating. That's not what's called eating. You gotta eat it.
Bruv, I just remembered everything I don't like about watermelon, fam. Nah.
Oh, you got orange.
See, watermelon, yeah, tastes like it's diluted, fam.
At least he took it in the end. I forgot about that bit. I'm glad he took it.
The best bit is when you give it to the guy and he goes, "It's juicy."
Juicy.
It's juicy. And then you're looking around the train. You're literally going like this, going, Do you want one? Do you want one? You never make eye contact with people on the train, Marcel. Oh my God.
Everything is everything. We're all one person. It doesn't matter. They most probably will like it. don't know.
Well, there you go. See, that was definitely worth 500. You got a treat. Yeah, you got a bargain. 400 likes for that. Anyway, guys, look, we're out of here. Thank you for joining us this morning. Plenty of content coming today. Tactical view coming and full view coming later on this evening. Thank you for Marcel to joining us this morning. It was a pleasure as always. And we'll speak to you again very soon. Peace.